happened during Destiny's Child recording, making the writings on the wall? That is the big question. So, like, the last couple of days, Destiny's Child have been like trending on Twitter because of a clip that was going around with Beyonce and Kelly saying that back in the day, saying that Latavia and LeToya were only on like 3, 4 songs, and if you took their vocals off, you wouldn't notice a difference. Now that's not nice to say, but I think it's kind of true. And like I think I heard that clip before. It's kind of pretty obvious on certain songs. It's pretty obvious that is clear, especially with like Jumpin' or Hey Ladies. It's pretty obvious that there's like 1 to 2 distinct vocals. Now Beyonce and Kelly, their vocals are pretty much like the same. You really can't tell the difference some days. But anyways, what happened? So I got the book. I'm a Survivor. I don't know what that book is called, and I don't have it near me. I had that book. I purchased this book a couple of years ago. I'm glad I did because it's the Destiny's Child. The Destiny's Child thing breakup is so, it doesn't make sense. And then because of the lawsuit that was filed, they weren't ever really able to go into specifics or talk about certain things because I think there was like money exchange with like a gag order, but I don't understand the whole. I think what Beyonce says, money is the big reason why the group broke up. But I feel like there might be other things that they're not that she can't, or they haven't talked about. I'm sure the gag order is probably what is the other word? It's a gag order and yeah, it's another word. Like with the TV production, like you can't talk about things for like 10 years or whatever. I'm sure there's specifics that they would maybe only talk about if there was a movie, a biopic. I'm sure they could probably talk about it now. I don't know. But nobody's going to be big enough or nobody's going to be brave enough to ask them, and they're not just going to be randomly talking about why the group really broke up. But like I said, Beyonce says in the book, the Destiny's Child book is so boring. And it's just like they're just talking about like one topic for like 5-6 pages, and it's just like, oh my gosh. But they don't really talk. She doesn't really talk about what actually the sequences. Kelly and Beyonce don't talk about the sequences of events that happened, but putting the pieces together, the writings were really on the wall, and we just all had to like look and see the little details and try to figure it out. So something happened during that writings on the wall, making of the writings on the wall, because why aren't those girls on most of the songs? My point of view is y'all worked so hard to get to this point. You've been working with these girls since you were 9 years old, each other since you were 9 years old, grew up together, went herds together, went on Star Search and got flopped. Got dropped by they did get dropped, right? By like Electra or something. They got dropped by somebody. Got picked up. Made your first album. It didn't do so well. Well, I'm not gonna say it didn't do so well, but it got you into the door, and then here you are in the door, and now you're ready to make the second album, and these two girls don't show up to sessions, which I was like, oh. And then the other thing is, they said they were LeToya and Latavia were in a relationship with the Jagged Edge twins, which I guess took their mind off of what was important, while Beyonce and Kelly were in the studio singing and producing and making the record, which is so crazy. So it just seems like it was all kind of fake after that point. The music, not the music, the live performances kind of make sense of them not really like, you can really hear them. The interviews kind of seemed kind of fake. I don't know. I don't know how. I guess Beyonce and Kelly really had a hunger and really had a passion for this. Oh shit! To the point where they. Oh, did I turn the comments on? To the point. To the point where they really. Okay, I don't know what I just did. Go back. Okay, so to the point where they really and leave a comment if you notice something that I said was wrong, or you want to add something into it too also, because I'm like a survivor slash destiny fulfilled. That's where I come from. I don't really know. That's why I had to do like a little bit more research, like the book and looking at the interviews. But it seemed like Beyonce and Kelly had like a more passion for it and were ready to actually work, while LeToya and Latavia were not for whatever reason. And then Beyonce said in the book that she didn't want to sing lead all the time, but the producers would for the LeToya and Latavia solo or lead vocals, that they would ask Beyonce to help them and produce their vocals and hold their hand. Like, she was like, I even held their hand in the studio. Like, I would do anything to help you in this group. The other thing that I noticed that Beyonce and Kelly kind of say, well, I think Beyonce, well, no, I'll say both of them. Beyonce and Kelly with Farrah also, they are so blindsided by whatever actions are being taken. Beyonce and Kelly hold meetings and they write letters, and they hold meetings and nobody talks or brings up these issues. So, and then also in the book and in interviews that I saw, Beyonce and Kelly were talking about how little things became bigger things, and they were like festering into bigger things and even bigger things. And so I'm just like, okay, so here's the timeline. So they make the writings on the wall. The girls don't show up for the sessions. They're only on like 3 or 4 songs. Beys like, it's not a big deal. I think, and then overall, Beyonce's like the promotion and the thought process, I guess, during and after the writings on the wall for Latavia and LeToya was from Beyonce was like, let's make this work no matter what. They're on like most of the writing credits. So she's just like, let's make this work, even though I'm doing all the work. It's not a big deal. We'll figure this out. Then there was like this whole like, they weren't confident enough. I don't know. I can't remember. Like, there was this in the book, or like Twitter was kind of saying this. They weren't confident enough. They weren't passionate enough, which was interesting to say. I don't know. It's interesting. So then they go to Europe and they have like these last performances. I think that's when Latavia got sick, I believe. And then there's this like a last couple of performances that they have, which is so crazy that they perform Say My Name, and it's their first and their last performance. Those three, actually, I think Destiny Child is a better threesome trio, because Kelly, Beyonce, and Latavia I mean, Kelly, Beyonce, and LeToya, and those, like, it's like a couple of European performances. They were killing it. Like, it looked better. I don't know if they sounded better because the backing track was odd, but they looked better. They were like, yeah, it just looked better, and it was just like an aesthetically pleasing situation. So Latavia got sick in Europe, or she would like miss a bunch of performances. Then there's like this last like couple of performances, or like the last one. I think they did Bills maybe, and they like recycled the choreography for like Bills, and they recycled it for like Say My Name or something at the time. And it's so weird because that is the first and last performance of Say My Name as Destiny Child, LeToya, Latavia, Beyonce, and Kelly. That is so crazy because that's the crazy part. Latavia was there for that last performance. Oh my gosh. And it's interesting because they don't have a lot of choreography. It kind of just seemed like a whim. Maybe a whim, like, oh, okay, this is gonna be the next single. Let's sing it over here because we're in Europe. We might not be here back for a while. That's like my thought process. I'm just like thinking, like, maybe that's how like management or they came up with it. We're in Europe. Let's just do this last. Let's just like give a little foreshadow because we're gonna have to do the video in a couple of weeks once we get back to the US. But before they went to the US, they had like this interview. It's so crazy how everything is documented, right? Farrah, especially Farrah's time in the group is heavily documented, especially her exit. That's what I meant. Her exit in the group is heavily documented. I didn't realize it until like last week when I was watching stuff. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. But anyways, so what did I say? Oh, before they went to Europe, they were like, yeah, we're gonna shoot this video on like December 27th or something, December 17th. So to be exact, that's what LeToya said. So they get back from Europe, and I believe it was LeToya and Latavia wanted to separate management. And Beyonce, like I said, Beyonce said it was over money, but I'm just like, I don't understand how it's over money when everything should be equally being dished out. Like, I don't understand how that would not be equally being dished out. Especially like the writing. Most of you guys are on the writing Bills and Bugaboo, then Say My Name. So like you're on your singles that are being producing money. At that point, maybe they should have gotten a check by then because it came out in like the summer. Maybe not a check yet. I don't know. What would they be getting paid for? I don't think they were doing like gigs. They were doing like promotional. I don't know. But they wanted to be separated with management. Now, my thing is, I'm playing both sides of the fence because some of this stuff isn't making a lot of sense. Management later has told us that Matthew has told us that Destiny's Child paid for their own studio time. They paid for their own like making the music, making the songs, and making the videos so they can have creative control. He said that from the beginning. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how realistic that sounded. But if that is true, why would the label really shouldn't have any say in who's singing lead all the time, who is doing the most work, who's being promoted the most in front, as the lead singer. I think that's probably basically the thing. Were they happy as sort of background singers? We would have to ask those specific questions. But anyways, they wanted management. They like filed for like or like put in a request to have separate management. And I guess they said Beyonce and them, Matthew and them said, nah. Um, and so since you're saying this, we're gonna just execute you out the group. I'm guessing that's how it goes. Let me know if that's not how it specifically went. Um, they said they didn't quit. LeToya and Latavia said they did not quit. In the book, like I said, it's very vague. Not even very. It's super vague about what actually went down and how it went down. B was like, Kelly, I don't think Kelly really talked about it. And it kind of seemed like Kelly wasn't that phased, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of how B talked about it. B took it on heavily. She was like, her face was breaking out. She was like depressed for like a week. She didn't have a boyfriend with her. And so B was, taking most of the grunt. I'm guessing this had to have been a very short period of time, you guys, of this going down. Maybe like a month or two. B talked about how she would set up meetings with their church counselor, youth counselor, and one day they were having this, where they're going to have this meeting, and B just like snapped out of it and just like was like, I forgive you guys. She said she went to the church. It was after church they had this meeting. And but during the service, I guess the spirit hit her and, the word was touching her and it went straight to her. And she was just like, okay, I got to forgive these ladies. And so she was like, went up to them crying and they like held and talked for like 10 minutes. And B was just like, oh, I forgive you guys so much. You guys, it's okay, you guys. I forgive you. This is what she said in the book, okay? So then, like, it makes sense when Beyonce and Kelly say that they told Latavia and LeToya that they were going on with the group pretty much no matter what. Like I said, even like making the album, no matter what, we're going to go on with this group. We're going to continue to make music. And they decided to shoot the Say My Name video. Now, they say in the book that they only had 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks, at whatever point it was 2 weeks into making, they had to make the video in that short amount of time, whatever amount of time it was, in like 2 more days or something like that. They had to make the Say My Name video then, or the video was going to be made. So they went on searching for new members. LeToya and Latavia, like I said, they said they had no idea that the Say My Name video was going to be made. Somebody had called them or something like that from the set. I don't know who called them. What did they say? I don't know. What did they say? Why would not who called them? Who called you guys and said, "Oh, they're making a video"? LeToya and Latavia's like, "Oh, y'all playing, whatever." They got 2 new girls. They were saying that the 2 new girls had to look like LeToya and Latavia, which Michelle and Farrah looked nothing like LeToya and Latavia. Farrah was a background dancer or background person on the Bills video, right? Michelle was a singer. In the Monica video. I mean, the Monica, she was a background singer for Monica. And they auditioned, I think, if they would have said like Farrah kind of didn't audition, like they just needed somebody and she was there. But anyways, I guess Latavia, I guess Farrah was supposed to be Latavia and Michelle was supposed to be LeToya. Okay. Because that's what they said. They said they needed 2 girls that look like LeToya and Latavia so nobody would notice the difference. Don't know what that means. I mean, like, this isn't like this. I mean, they really took a note from the Supremes because that's literally those words. Because like Florence was supposed to look like. I mean, Cindy kind of looked like Florence, and they were just like, put her in. Nobody would notice the difference. So the video is made, and then they get a lawsuit. This was news to me. They get a lawsuit from LeToya and Latavia about breach of contract, liable. They sued Beyonce, Kelly, Matthew, and Sony. Now, I don't know why would they sue Beyonce and Kelly? Maybe management, okay. Sony, okay, I get it. They have contracts with Sony. But you don't really have a contract with Beyonce and Kelly. You have or I guess the Destiny Child contract, if you're gonna be specific. But anyways, that was settled out of court. Nobody was talked about. They can't talk about. At the time they couldn't talk about it, which is why the book is so vague, and the interviews are very vague. And then there's like no more of Destiny Child 4. So I'm like ending like the Destiny Child 4 part. I'm guessing, like I said, they broke up because Beyonce says money. There could have been a Matthew issue with money, maybe, but I don't understand that part. Like, this isn't a Chili's 360 deal, a Pebbles and TLC 360 deal, or whatever. Destiny's Child is over. There's like maybe I would say sort of creative differences with like being passionate enough, being there, present to work on the music enough. Questions that really need answers. But anyways, so Farrah and Michelle are in the group. This is in like early 2000. So they're in the group. Everything is going okay. They did record Independent Woman all together, all four of them, Michelle, Kelly, Farrah, and Beyonce. Also, Beyonce and Kelly definitely said lots of times that they sent letters, they held meetings, and things just weren't talked about or things weren't settled in the Destiny Child 4, the original. So Michelle and Farrah, they're learning the steps. They're in the group. Farrah's in the group. Farrah's not happy. Farrah wants to be in front. Now, in the book, this is how it's set up. Beyonce and Kelly have no idea what's going on. They say, we don't know what happens. Then then Michelle's part comes in. Let's change it. Let's find Destiny's Child. Oh, yeah. Farrah and Michelle are in the Jumpin' video. Say My Name wins a Grammy, but guess who doesn't get the Grammy? Poor Michelle. I don't mean to say it like that, but Michelle didn't get the Grammy for Say My Name. But she was up there picking up the award with Kelly and Michelle, which is funny and weird. Not weird, but not weird in like a what the hell is going on way. Weird in a dang, this is awkward. Awkward. I would say awkward. Okay, they don't have the Independent Woman single on here. So, anyways, Independent Woman gets recorded. This is like 2000. Yeah. This had to be in 2000. They record an Independent Woman, Farrah, Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle. Kelly, like I said, Kelly and Beyonce had no idea what was going on in the book. They were like, we don't really know what's going on. Cut to Michelle. Michelle spills the tea. Michelle tells all the business. Michelle breaches her contract with Farrah. Michelle is like, Farrah wanted to be in the center of the group. Michelle is so perfect because at 19, Michelle understood her assignment. Michelle understood what was going on, what she needed to do, and she did it. Farrah wanted to be the lead. Farrah wanted to be the center. Farrah wanted to be having all the camera time. No. Especially with Say My Name, you definitely notice Beyonce more being on camera after LeToya and Latavia leave. It's clear who's the lead singer. It's clear who's running the runs. Farrah, yeah, like I said, Farrah wanted to do all these things. Farrah got sick, allegedly. Farrah had like the flu one time. And they needed, there was like this Destiny Child interview going on with like MTV or somebody. And so Farrah was like, I can't make it, I'm sick. Or I'm just recovering from the flu or something like that. And I guess she had words with Matthew, and Matthew was like, "Get your..." Oh, it was in Houston, and Farrah was in LA. Matthew said, "Get your on a flight, get here to LA, get here now." No. So Farrah's like, "I'm like recovering from the flu. I just got out of the hospital. Like, what you mean?" So Farrah shows up to the Houston house with the with a bracelet on. This is in the book. And everybody's like, I was like, this stunt queen. Like, girl, if you didn't want to come, just say you didn't want to come. But she's like, she didn't want to come, actually. That's what it was. She's like, I didn't want to come. And then it turned into like, I was sick and I had the flu and they're making me come to this interview. She shows up to the house and Michelle runs over to her. She's like, girl, what's going on? Like, literally, this is what the book, this is what she said. Girl, what's going on? And she's like, I'm sick. You know, she's like, I don't want to. She immediately goes in on Matthew. She's like, I don't want to talk to Matthew. The way he disrespected me on the phone, I am not having it. I'm not taking it. This is what Michelle says. And so the interview is set up and Farrah sits off on the side. She's not even doing the interview. Then cut to Seattle. They ought to go to Seattle to do this MTV thing that's televised. First of all, it's televised. It's shot behind the scenes. They're on the plane they're in Houston. Farrah, they're running through the airport talking about, Farrah's like, I'm sick. They're making me, I just recovered from the flu a day ago. I'm still a little sick. I'm not sure if I'm going to make the performance, but I'm going to still try to do my best. And they have like this, they get on the plane. You can see it on the MTV thing. They get on the plane and Beyonce kind of looks annoyed. They fly to Seattle. From Seattle, they're supposed to go to Australia. Oh no, there was like a break in between, and then they're supposed to go to Australia. I can never say that name. So before they go to Australia, in Seattle, they're supposed to have like this performance. They're doing this performance, or they're doing promotion. They were like having like a girl's day, and then they're doing promotion, and then they go do the performance. Farrah doesn't show up to any of it. She stays in her hotel room. Kelly and Michelle have no idea what's going on. Kelly and Michelle said we held many meetings. Like I said, Kelly and Michelle have said they have no idea what's going on. Like I said, they're blindsided by LeToya, Latavia, and Farrah. Which, okay, I'm gonna say, okay, I believe this. I'm gonna say I believe it because Michelle is the only person who's being the adult here at 19 years old. Michelle is the only one who is like talking if I have any problems. Anyways, they say they have meetings with Farrah and Michelle. They said, we're not going to do this again. If anything, we're all a group. We've invited you to the group. If you have anything to say that you don't like, speak up. We'll try to fix it. Figure it out. We want to be adults. We want to be better at communicating in the group. Farrah and Michelle. Farrah says nothing. Michelle has nothing to say. Well, that's what it seems like from the book. Farrah says nothing. But to Michelle, she's whispering off on the side, why Beyonce got to be like this? And Michelle's like, this is their group. We're coming into their space. Whatever they got going on, we got to fit in. Like, you can't, this ain't the Farrah child. This is Destiny's Child. After the promotion, Farrah doesn't show up. After the promotion, the performance they're supposed to do, Farrah still doesn't show up. They didn't seem that worried. The only thing at that performance they were worried about was the dancers. The dancers weren't there on time, but they ended up making it. Now my mind is becoming fuzzy about what happened afterwards. But it was something like Farrah flew back to LA. They were told they had to go to, let's just call it Sydney. They were like, we got this Sydney performance promotional month or like couple weeks set up. Farrah, we want you to come. Like Beyonce says, I want this to work. We want you to work. We want Destiny's Child to be successful. We want you to be here. Please come to the Sydney. Come to the airport. Come to Sydney. We'll see you in Sydney. We love you. We want you to be here. Farrah doesn't show up at all. I think it was like one meeting they had before. I think it was right before they were supposed to go back to LA or go back to Houston to fly to Sydney. They had a meeting. Farrah walked out of the meeting. Oh, no. This was in Seattle. Farrah walked out of the meeting in Seattle, went to her hotel room while they did the promotion and yada, yada, yada. They did the performance. That's what it was. They flew back. They were like, we hope to see you. I guess she basically was saying, no, I'm not going to come. No, not really. Farrah doesn't go to Sydney. Michelle, Kelly, and Beyonce are like, what the hell are we going to do now? Here we go again. They're going to talk about us. She's not here. They were just like, whatever. We're just going to make it do what it do. Kelly, Michelle, spread out a little bit and dance your asses off. So they were like, they felt so relieved. Beyonce was like, no. Kelly said, I felt so relieved that basically Farrah wasn't there anymore. I felt like Michelle and Beyonce understood me. They didn't question my talent. Her words, not mine. I felt like I can sing, I can be as free as I want. She said, am I about to cry? Wait a minute now. She's just like, I felt so happy and I felt so free that I could be myself and I could sing and not be felt judged. And I was like, oh, who was judging you? And then that's what it was. That's the other thing that I picked up. It seemed like reading that's what it was. When I was reading it, it felt like Michelle, I'm sorry. It felt like Latavia and LeToya had the most like kind of beef or something with Kelly. That's what it came out to me as. Because I was like, why would Kelly say, I felt free and I felt happy and I felt like I could sing and I felt like my talent wasn't being questioned. I was like, what? Because what? Beyonce wasn't questioning her talent. Who else was in the group? LeToya and Latavia. That was so weird. And so, like, eye-opening and weird. Because now, guess who do we see all the time? LeToya and Kelly. Was it Latavia? No, I'm kidding. But anyways, They were just like, Michelle and Kelly were just like, Michelle, Kelly, and Beyonce were just like, we're just gonna spread it out. We're gonna sing our hearts out. Michelle was like, here's my opportunity to show why I was chosen in this group, and here's my opportunity to show my talent. We danced, we sang, we praised God. She was like, I really had to show out. I got to show out during the gospel medley, and that was then. That was it. That was the end of like the drama. So shout out to Destiny's Child. Like I said, I'm from like the Survivor slash Destined Fulfilled when it ended. Now, this is what makes sense why there will never be a Destiny's Child, what is it, 5 reunion or 4 reunion, because Destiny's Child had the most success and I think the most fun, the most camaraderie with Michelle as Destiny's Child 3. That's why I think there will never be a Destiny's Child 4 reunion. Cut, it's out. And at this point, I kind of feel like they had to like they got not to be quoting, they got rid of the bad apples. Maybe that's what she meant by that. I think she was probably a little hurt by the lawsuit also when she said the bad apples comment. Because Latavia and LeToya can sing. Well, especially Latavia now. I mean, LeToya now. And we can see it with Latavia. I mean, LeToya, she ended up, having her solo album and it doing very well. And, she has her own little, like, she has her own solo career that's really, especially with acting now. LeToya is really, really, LeToya's doing the thing. They all are really doing the thing. Doing well. But yeah, there's not going to be another, we're not getting that iteration of Destiny's Child, that beginning Destiny's Child, because Destiny's Child with Michelle, Kelly, and Beyonce is what blew up. Now, did Say My Name and the drama help a little bit? Help them sell, 25 million? You be the judge of that. I don't know where the comments are. I don't think I can even see comments out here. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Death Show podcast. I just really I wanted to talk. And, Beyonce's like, well, they can all sing lead. So maybe there was like a confidence issue also with, the laws. Leave a comment. I want to know what you guys thought about this whole Destiny's Child thing. It's so baffling. Like I said, nobody's really asking like the questions that need to be asked. So maybe that's why they're not being asked and being cleared up. But, shout out to Beyonce, Kelly, Michelle, Latavia, and LeToya. But like I said, I don't think there's that Destiny's Child is Destiny's Child. And Matthew said that they have one more album with Columbia. Do I want another Destiny's Child album? Not really. Will it be interesting? Definitely. Michelle, I think, has said a couple of times that I think even in her book, checking in, I think she said she didn't want, and I kind of understand where she was coming from. I only was in the group for like 4 years. And I think as she was just getting her footing, as they were growing up, they decided to disband. So, I kind of feel like Michelle didn't really want, I didn't even think about talking about the ending of Destiny's Child. Michelle didn't even really want to disband. Yeah. Okay, leave a comment. That's all I got to say. Thanks for listening. This is the Dare Show podcast. Bye.